Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, I have a really amazing special guest that we're going to be doing a series on allergies and sensitivities and how that relates to our bodies and what that looks like. Her name is Ynge Ljung, and she is the founder of the Allergy Kit. It is a wonderful, wonderful kit that she created that you can bring right into your home so that you can help your family and your children be clear of allergies. And this can help anyone from just regular food sensitivities to really intense allergies. And it's non-invasive. So without further ado, thank you so much, Ynge, for joining me today. I'm so excited to be talking and doing this series with you. And we are going to talk about today's message is going to be, is your child's behavior an allergy? And the correlation between ADHD and autism, the behavior in children with these diagnoses. So please start off by telling us just a little bit about like what do you think about that statement? Is your child's behavior an allergy?
Yes, we don't really think about if you eat something and then all of a sudden you start, for example, a child on the spectrum who has sugar, all of a sudden starts to run wild. Or if they have wheat, they can lose their eye contact or have a meltdown. We don't really put that together. But if you would write a journal about what happens to your child, what they eat, and their reactions, you could really find out what it is. But most people don't even think about it. That's my first advice really to parents, is to jot down what their reactions are and what they had to eat or smell.
Right.
Anything.
Right. So we don't typically think about an allergy as a behavioral issue, right? You know, I have clients who come to me and they're like, yeah, you know what? I think my child has maybe candida, maybe, parasites. And, so they think of that, but they don't think about the brain being on fire or that inflammation after having sugar and the whole cycle and what that means. How does the child's brain become inflamed after having, for example, sugar, and that sugar being that quote unquote allergy, and the symptom and reaction to that sugar is the brain inflammation, brain on fire?
Well, if you have sugar, it goes straight into the bloodstream, and the bloodstream goes through your brain. And everybody reacts or have different reactions to sugar. Some, it may be only they get candida and they get more sugar cravings. But in children, very often it can be either that they run around or they run up the walls, they just behave crazily. Mm-hmm. Other kids, they can have real bad reactions and just a meltdown, and nobody puts it together.
Right. So the when you have sugar, it's not just the digestive pain that comes after eating too much sugar or even a little bit of sugar, or the bloating in the stomach. It's the blood is circulating that sugar through the entire body, going up into the brain and causing that intense inflammation, that immediate reaction. That's actually an allergy symptom or a sensitivity symptom to that sugar. And what's wonderful is you have a vial for sugar.
Yes.
And so there's a solution for that. And it works phenomenally. So I'm happy that you have this and that you've created this, because it can be such an easy solution to really address the allergies that could be causing, it's an epidemic nowadays, the kids' behavioral issues. Wherever we go, we see this happening. I would love to hear some stories from you, but I want to share a story. My son, when, he never really, we had, natural sugar, like I would make my own stuff, my cakes, the fruits and whatnot. And I really stayed away from food coloring, as much as I could. Really, he didn't have it the first, I want to say 6 years of his life. Like I really just did not allow it. And, you know, I always offered him an alternative, like if we were at a birthday party and there was that cake full with the blue food coloring, I would either say you could have the cake inside, you know, and then just leave, like food coloring also causes, you know, brain inflammation. So I would just let him eat the cake part a little bit, or I would offer him an alternative, or if I knew I could prepare beforehand, I would have something else for him, and it worked fine. One day, my husband comes back. They went to go do something, to learn together, to go do something, and my husband came back frustrated. I think he was about 7 years old. And he's grounded and he was all flustered. And I'm like, what's going on? Because it wasn't typical for him to like misbehave. Like, yeah, he's a boy, he could be rowdy or whatnot, but misbehave where my husband would come home upset, like that was a little much. So I figured something was going on. I wasn't sure what was. So what's going on? He goes, he had a rain jacket on, and he goes, he was pulling the zipper up and down, nonstop. And the speaker was talking, and it was disruptive. And then he started to like climb a bookcase. This is not my son, right? So I was like, did he have anything weird to eat there? Like, because he left the house fine, you know, what happened? And basically my son shouts out, I had a popsicle. And I'm like, did it have food coloring? You know, of course it did. And he was like, yeah, it was blue and red or something like that. And then I'm like, oh, you have inflammation from the food coloring. And so I explained to him what was going on. And like, you know, my husband calmed down a little bit when he realized like it wasn't his own behavioral issue, right? He wasn't trying to cause a problem. It's just that he lost control because his brain went on fire.
Yeah.
So it just so happened that the very next day we had a birthday party. So I'll never forget this, because again, since we never had this kind of stuff in the house, it was very obvious when we did that he had a major sensitivity to this. So the next day we were at a birthday party, and he saw those, you know, those blue ice, it looks like you stick them in the tea, and it's like sugar. It's like a bunch of sugar crystals that are put together like on a stick, and people usually dunk them in their tea or whatnot, but this one was blue. So he really wanted this so badly. And I said, you know, I don't think you never really had food coloring before. It seems like you reacted to it. I don't think this is good for you. You know, I was having this conversation with him. He says, no, I really want it. It's going to be okay. And I said, okay, fine. Let's do a test. If you have it and you don't react at all, then you win the argument. And once in a while, you can have food coloring. But if you react and you see that you have a problem with it, then it's something we need to stay away from or figure out and whatnot, and see that this is not good for you. I mean, I knew he was going to react to it, so I knew I had the winning argument here. And sure enough, he had just a little bit of it. He didn't even have the whole thing. And he reacted. He started pushing his sister around, you know, running in circles, the whole thing. And I grabbed him and I said, do you feel any different than you did like 5 minutes ago? And he was like, he let out this big sigh, and he was like, okay, you know, like because my son's very smart. So he had the cognitive ability to understand and communicate with me in that regard. And so after that, that was it. No more food coloring, you know? So, I mean, maybe I should do this food sensitivity file for him just in case down the line he has, you know, an issue. But
Yes.
for sure, he was sensitive to it, and he never even had it before. So that was my own personal experience with how brain on fire can happen in someone. And I think it probably happens to most of us, truthfully. We just don't
Oh, yes.
do
Yes,
together.
I think so. I saw a video once with kids 5, 6, 7 years old or something. They were at the so-called normal birthday party, where they had all these cakes with color and sodas and cakes. Everything was sweets and wheat. And a few minutes after they had consumed this, the party went totally berserk. They started to fight. They climbed the walls practically, and the parents didn't know what to do. Then there was a video with a party with more natural things, natural sugars, natural, more fruits and things like that. And the kids were eating, they sat down and played with each other, they didn't fight. The difference was amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I make my own cakes for my kids' birthday parties. For my last child, I did a whole watermelon tier cake with beautiful,
uh-huh.
strawberries and grapes coming down, and everybody was confused, like, where's the cake that she's gonna dunk her head in when she eats the ice cream? And I'm like, I don't know, she can tear apart the watermelon, and it was fine. It was great. And I have the most beautiful pictures from it. And it's still a wonderful memory of her first birthday.
Yes. Yeah, it's really something. I see these kids, it's getting more and more common that kids have these outbreaks and reactions. And sometimes I think it's maybe the teachers that should get the medication, because I think they have an opinion that kids should sit still. And they
Right.
don't. Normally they don't. And if they have these reactions to different foods, and it can be smells, it can be smell from a marker or
Right. True.
chemicals on they wash the classrooms with. It can be anything. But what I feel like my mission is really to try to wake people up. Parents, if they could understand what they give their kids can make them have these horrible behavior problems, which are not behavior problems. They can't help it. They have an allergic reaction.
Right. It's no different than saying a child that got a reaction as hives, right?
Exactly.
Or a child who went into anaphylaxis, or a child who got eczema trigger from eating something. Brain on fire, brain inflammation from an allergy to a food is another symptom of an allergy. And we don't usually think about it that way. So thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. I'm sure our audience is going to really appreciate this one. And I hope that it resonates with everyone here. If you want to look into the allergy kit and how you can bring that into your home, Ynge, please tell the viewers where they need to go.
They can go to theallergykit.com. Very easy to remember.
Yes, very
I was
easy.
just thinking also with, small children that start to bang their heads.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's the same thing, because they can't express themselves and they often can't really run around the same way as bigger kids can. And I think it's something in their body that they don't know what to do to get rid of that feeling they have. They are kind of trapped. And some kids, they don't speak, so
Right.
it's worse for them because they can't express themselves and they don't know what to do. The same with people who cut themselves. It's something they need to get rid of and they can't.
Right. Right. Wow. So this is just powerful and life-changing for families who notice their children are having these, behavioral issues, that they have a solution. And obviously with diet change and doing all the good things for foundational life changes, but we can also get rid of the sensitivity so that once in a while you can enjoy a little bit of just regular sugar in a cake for a birthday party without having to feel like you're going to hold your breath when your child takes that spoon,
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
the sugar, I recommend that you treat sugar maybe once a month, because sugar is in everything. In the food here
Yeah.
in America,
It
they put
is. We
sugar in
put it in
everything.
everything.
So we get re-inoculated or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
So
Parents don't realize how much sugar is in so many snacks and juices and, even like orange juice, they put added sugar. You don't need added sugar in orange juice,
I don't need orange juice at all, because orange juice is one of the worst things. Really, it goes so fast out in the bloodstream
Yeah.
and cause a reaction.
Right.
It's really better to give them something else, or at least if they want to have the oranges, give them the whole orange. That is a slower
Right.
reaction.
Right. Wonderful. Okay, so thank you so much, Ynge. theallergykit.com. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to her about how to get this into your home. Okay, I can't wait till next time. Stay tuned for next video in the series. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.